Now that we have the giga working, let's add a winning screen. This screen will appear when the user has collected, say, 300 points. So I'm going to the giga, which is the place where I am adding the score, and I'm including an if statement, checking the score, and if the score is greater than 300, we want to AND. To end, we're just going to broadcast endgame. I'm going to put this exactly after the change score by 10. So if the score is greater than 300, then I'm going to broadcast endgame, going back to the stage, and I'm going to add a new background. I'm going to call this the win screen. And rather than you've been turned to dust, I'm going to say you've collected enough giga to save the Earth. Well done. This screen I want to make visible when we get 300 points. So in the script, I have to check now whether the end game was called when we lost the game or actually when we won the game. So another if statement will do. This time I'm going to use an if else, and I'm going to say if the score is greater than 300, so if the variable score is greater than 300, then I'm going to switch the background to a win screen. Otherwise, I'm going to switch the background to the old end game, which was the lose screen. Now that we have the score running and the game will end when it's 300, we can actually introduce the concept of levels. Levels are different areas, different stages of the game, and normally each stage would be a bit more difficult to get points than the previous stage. In this game I will actually be creating 3 levels. In the first level we will have 3 giga and 1 meteoroid. In the second level we will reduce the number of giga and increase the number of meteoroids, so it will be harder, and increasingly in the third screen I will have 3 rocks and just 1 giga, making it more hard for the player to actually gain marks. So let's start first by taking care of the levels. How are we going to switch from one level to another? Again, I'm going to go back to the giga, which is the one which handles the score. And similar to what I did with if score is greater than 300, broadcast endgame, what I'm going to do here is putting another if statement. And this time I'm going to check if the score is 100. If it is 100, then I'm going to go up to the next level, which will be level 2. So operators equals score 100, and if it is 100, then I'm going to change the level by 1. Similar to this, I'm going to do another if statement. This time it's 200, and again I'm going to change the level by 1. Changing level by 1 would simply increase it. If I put these two if statements just after changing the score, the giga rock now will first change the score by 10. If the score is 100, it will change the level by 1. If it is 200, it will again increase it by another 1. The first level from the stage is set to 1, so that will mean that as soon as we get 100 points, we'll go to level 2, another 100 points will go to level 3. Once it is 300, then the game will stop. I can try this out. And the level has gone up to level 2, so the levels are working. Once I have the levels working, let's now introduce the different sprites. So as we said before, we were going to have more rocks at the end of the game and more giga rocks in the beginning of the game. So I'll start off with the rock. I'll just duplicate the current rock, and I'll do that twice. I'm going to change its name to rock 2 and rock 3. Now, the first rock I want visible throughout the game, so I'm going to leave the condition which we have right now, which is if level is greater than 0, simply display this rock. The second rock I want to make visible after level 1, so I want it to be visible in level 2 and level 3. So I'm going to change the condition here. Instead of if level is greater than 0, I'm going to say if level is greater than 1. That will introduce the second rock. And for the third rock, I'm going to change the number to 2, so this rock will only be available in level 3. Similarly, I'm going to copy the giga rock, I'm going to change the name from the default sprite 1 to giga 2 and giga 3. It's always advisable to actually change the names. It will make your code a bit more readable. Now in giga 2, I want giga 2 and giga 3 to be available always. In the second level I want 1 rock less, and the third level I want actually only 1 giga rock to be available. So I'll have to again change the forever if condition. So the first rock I'm going to remain as is, which means it's going to be available always. If level is greater than 0, just make it available. The second rock, I want it only available for the first and second level. So I'm going to change the logic, and I'm going to say if the level is less than 3. So that will mean level 1 and level 2. Similarly, the third one, I'm going to say if level is 1. So again, remove this logic, equality, and if level is 1. So just to recap, this giga rock 3 will only be available in level 1. Giga rock 2 will be available in levels 1 and 2 because the level must be less than 3, and giga rock will always be available because we're checking that the level is greater than 0. Let's try it out. Okay, it's not working the way it should be because I have 3 giga rocks, but I also have 2 rocks there which are jammed at the end. I'm just playing it until I get to level 2, and as you can see now in level 2 I actually had 2 giga rocks and two rocks which were visible as well. To solve this bug I have to analyze my code, and although if I look at the giga rocks, although the movement of the rock is only occurring if the level is less than 3, the rock is being shown before. So to solve this, I'm just going to move the show block inside the forever loop. That way the rock will only be shown after checking the loop. And I have to do this for all the rocks except the ones which will always be visible. So just fix this. In this way, when the rock is not in the right level, it will not be shown. Okay, I can now test this. And as you can see, I only get the right giga rocks and the meteoroid on the screen. I still have another problem with these giga rocks which are just running at the end. So let's see what the problem is here. Okay, the problem is our logic. Level is less than 3. Now if you recall, earlier we had reserved -2 to be our end. So we have to use another operator to check if the level is less than 3, but the level must be greater than 0. So level is between 1 and 3. So that should solve it for gigarock 2. Let's check gigarock 1. It's fine, it's greater than 0, and that's fine as well. So if I end the game, there you go, no gigarocks are actually invisible now.